Can you feel that knot in your stomach, Warriors fans? That low thrum of anxiety that's been building all summer, a quiet dread lurking beneath the surface of what should be an exciting offseason? For months, the Golden State Warriors have been on a singular, crucial mission: find that elusive stretch five, the piece that completes the championship puzzle, the floor spacer who unlocks the full, devastating potential of Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green. But as the dog days of August drag on and the crucial contract talks with Jonathan Kuminga continue to stall, the silence from the Bay Area has been less about strategic genius and more about a growing sense of unease. And now, in a move that feels like a gut punch, a rival has swooped in, snatching away what was widely considered their most viable backup plan. Has Golden State, a franchise synonymous with innovation and swift execution, allowed its most vital offseason objective to devolve into a high-stakes game of chicken, leaving them with one last precarious option and a rapidly ticking clock? I'm Chase Sr., and you're tuned into the NBA Court Report, where we're about to dissect the Warriors' increasingly perilous position and the shrewd maneuver by the Boston Celtics that just upped the ante. The Warriors' championship blueprint, a stretch five imperative, let's be clear. The Golden State Warriors, when healthy and firing on all cylinders, remain one of the most terrifying propositions in the NBA. Last season, the tantalizing glimpse of Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green on the court together was nothing short of sublime. A 22-5 run down the stretch, culminating in a stunning upset of the second seed in the first round of the playoffs, proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that this trio, this core, can do serious damage. They possess a unique blend of offensive firepower, defensive tenacity, and championship pedigree that few teams can match. Yet, even with such immense talent, a glaring strategic vulnerability persists, a fundamental flaw in their otherwise brilliant design. The problem with pairing a dynamic playmaker like Jimmy Butler, who thrives on driving and operating in the paint, with the defensive maestro Draymond Green, whose offensive game isn't built on perimeter shooting, is that it creates a natural bottleneck. For their offense to truly hum, for the lanes to remain open, for Curry to have the space he needs to operate his magic, every other player on the court must be a shooter. This is a non-negotiable truth for this iteration of the Warriors. While Draymond Green's ability to play small ball center in the playoffs is a proven championship strategy, unleashing his defensive genius and playmaking from the 5 spot, it's simply not sustainable for the grueling 82-game regular season. The physical toll, the need for very defensive looks, and the sheer volume of minutes demand a true center. But not just any center. They need a stretch five, a big man who can pull opposing centers out of the paint, creating the crucial spacing that allows Curry to dance, Butler to attack, and Green to orchestrate. Without it, the offense risks stagnating, becoming predictable, and ultimately disappearing. This isn't a luxury, it's an absolute necessity for Golden State's championship aspirations. The Al Horford conundrum. The perfect fit and the perilous wait. Enter Al Horford. The name that has been whispered, debated, and ultimately universally agreed upon as the ideal solution for the Golden State Warriors. At 39 years old, Horford is far from a spring chicken, but his game has aged like a fine wine, adapting to the modern NBA with remarkable grace. He is the quintessential floor-spacing big man, capable of knocking down crucial three-pointers, pulling defenders away from the rim, and opening up the court for Golden State's lethal perimeter attack. But his value extends far beyond his shooting. Horford is a strong, intelligent defender, capable of guarding multiple positions and providing crucial rim protection. He's a proven 16-game player, a veteran who understands the intensity and demands of playoff basketball, having been a cornerstone of multiple deep postseason runs. Add to that his underrated playmaking ability from the high post, and you have a player who perfectly complements the Warriors' core. The most the Warriors can offer Horford is the taxpayer mid-level exception, a deal worth $5.7 million for the first season. Given the widespread reports linking him to Golden State and the conspicuous absence of any other team officially signing him, it has seemed almost inevitable that Horford would eventually land in the Bay Area. The fit is too perfect, the need too great, and the opportunity to contend for another championship alongside legends like Curry and Green too alluring. But in the unpredictable world of NBA free agency, likely is a dangerous word. It is emphatically not certain. And this is where the Warriors' strategy, or perhaps their lack of urgency, begins to look like a high-stakes gamble. Every day that passes without a signed contract introduces a new layer of risk, a new plausible scenario that could derail their meticulously planned offseason. What if Horford, a seasoned veteran who values stability, simply grows impatient? What if he decides to pivot and lock in with another team that offers him a more immediate concrete role? The allure of playing in Atlanta, where he still maintains a residence and deep ties, could, for example, ultimately overcome his desire to join Curry and Green in California. Or, in a more drastic but not entirely impossible scenario, what if the 39-year-old simply decides to retire, hanging up his sneakers after a long and distinguished career? And then there's the Jonathan Kuminga factor. The ongoing, protracted contract negotiations with Kuminga are not just a separate issue, they are intrinsically linked to the Horford pursuit. If Kuminga were to negotiate a new deal with another team, say the Brooklyn Nets, and the Warriors were forced to lower their offer to the minimum to match an offer sheet, it could severely impact their financial flexibility and their ability to sign Horford to the taxpayer mid-level exception. All of these scenarios, unlikely as they may be individually, add up to a very real, very tangible risk that the Warriors are currently embracing. The Celtics' surgical strike, snatching the safety net while the Warriors have been meticulously, perhaps painstakingly, pursuing Al Horford. Another team, a perennial rival, was quietly observing, waiting for an opportunity to strike. The Boston Celtics, ever the opportunists, just delivered a subtle but significant blow to Golden State's backup plans. It was widely understood that the Warriors' contingency plan at center, should Horford slip through their fingers, was likely to bring back a familiar face, one-time Warrior Chris Boucher. Boucher, a long, athletic veteran known for his 3-and-D capabilities, actually got his start with the Warriors, serving as a deep reserve on their 2018 championship team. He then moved north of the border, playing a slightly larger role on the Toronto Raptors' 2019 title team, famously defeating the very Warriors team he had once been a part of. Since then, he's been a consistent, if sometimes inconsistent, presence for the Raptors. While Boucher offers less consistent shooting and defense than the seasoned Horford, he certainly possesses enough of those qualities to be a very useful player in a rotation. His athleticism, length, and ability to stretch the floor make him a valuable commodity in today's NBA. However, Boucher's market this summer seemed to dry up to the minimum level, a situation that likely undersold his true value. And that's precisely where the Boston Celtics capitalized. In a shrewd move, Boston swooped in and signed Boucher to what is assumed to be a minimum deal, adding him to their new-look frontcourt. In essence, for the Celtics, Boucher is serving as a direct replacement for Al Horford, who they had to move on from. For the Warriors, it means their most logical, cost-effective backup plan is now off the board. The safety net has been removed, leaving them with an even narrower path forward. The Kuminga domino, unlocking Horford and removing risk, this brings us back to Jonathan Kuminga. The protracted nature of his contract negotiations isn't just a headache, it's a critical bottleneck preventing the Warriors from fully completing their offseason business. The longer these talks drag on, the longer the Warriors are playing with fire, leaving themselves vulnerable to the very risks we've discussed. Whatever compromise needs to be reached with Kuminga, it must happen soon. Settling his deal will provide the clarity and financial flexibility necessary for the Warriors to finalize their roster, and most importantly, to secure Al Horford. The fact that Chris Boucher, a player who was clearly on Golden State's radar as a contingency, went off the board to a rival team, serves as a stark, undeniable warning. The rest of the league will not wait forever for the Golden State Warriors to finish their business. Other teams are making moves, filling their rosters, and seizing opportunities. The NBA offseason is a dynamic, fast-paced environment, and hesitation can be costly. The message is crystal clear, and the stakes couldn't be higher. for the Golden State Warriors, it's no longer about exploring options or patiently waiting for the perfect scenario. It's about decisive action. It's Al Horford or bust now. And with each passing day, with each passing minute, that clock continues to tick louder and louder, echoing the growing anxiety in the Bay Area. Will the Warriors secure their man, or will their patience prove to be their undoing, leaving them scrambling for answers as the season approaches? So, what's your take? Are the Warriors playing a dangerous game, or is this just part of a larger, more calculated strategy that we're not seeing? Do you think they'll ultimately land Al Horford, or has the Celtics move put them in an impossible bind? Share your insights and predictions in the comments below. I want to hear your thoughts on this high-stakes, off-season drama. And if you found this deep dive into the Warriors' precarious position insightful and engaging, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the NBA Court Report for more exclusive analysis and breaking news that keeps you ahead of the game. Your passion fuels this channel, and together, we'll navigate every twist and turn of this incredible NBA season.